The Milwaukee Bucks have made multiple moves, and in the midst of their big struggles, we've seen the Milwaukee Bucks make some changes, hopefully, to help propel them to some more wins. We're going to break down those moves as well as discuss Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was called out by Jaylen Brown. Stay tuned for all that in this episode. Before we get into it, quick reminder, if you're part of the 80% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Bucks content. So again, it would mean the world if you'd hit that button, but there's a lot to go over today, and let's dive right into it. There's a bunch of different things, so we're going to discuss a lot of the changes, but let's start with the Bucks. They have recalled AJ Johnson and Chris Livingston from the Herd, and this was of course a couple days ago, but this has big implications going forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now obviously at this point the Milwaukee Bucks are in a very interesting spot. They are losing a lot of games. They are really bad, and their bench is brutal. And of course, they're looking for trades and doing things like that. We'll have videos covering you guys for all the trades and all those things. But at the moment, it's interesting because they recalled AJ Johnson and Chris Livingston. Now, obviously, how long they're going to stay with the team is still yet to be seen. But we look at last game against, of course, a very close game, which was a very close game. But Giannis had 43, Dame had 14. And this was against the Boston Celtics, as we all know. And, thinking about these moves that they made, AJ Johnson was the first round pick this year. Chris Livingston, he's a guy. But looking at AJ Johnson more specifically, he's someone that heading into this season, remember, I made videos on it. We had a ton of different videos on it. It was kind of at the point where it was like, hey, are the Milwaukee Bucks, there was a time in the summer league when he was actually, vying for not a starting spot, but a spot on this Milwaukee Bucks team. But ultimately what happened was he kind of fizzled out. He had a phenomenal summer league, and then a great, few games there, but then in the preseason he started to fizzle out a little bit, and what that ultimately led to was him getting sent down to the Herd to help refine the game. But him getting called up is very interesting. We'll see if he actually continues to play and how much this season he will actually be a part of this team, because at this point you look at their current roster and you have Gary Trent Jr. has been out with an injury, Chris Middleton has been out with an injury. They're desperately trying to find guys to step up, and Andre Jackson Jr., Ajax, has been the guy that has been slid into the starting rotation in Gary Trent Jr.'s absence, and he's been okay. Last game, we saw his first real struggle defensively. It was something that was a big problem, something that we hope gets fixed going forward. But other than that, they need more sparks off the bench. And whether they want to give AJ Johnson a try or not is still up in the air. But I think going forward, seeing these young guys, and again, Doc Rivers is starting now to play the young guys. He's starting to see it with Ryan Rollins, with AJ Green, Ajax. AJ Green has been shooting the lights out of the ball from the three-point line. He's been one of the lone positive stories this season for a Milwaukee Bucks team that has had basically no positive stories. We don't own a first-round pick, and we're, of course, at the bottom of the league. So as you look ahead, keep an eye out on these guys, specifically AJ Johnson. See what he can do for this team going forward. Give him some chances, because it's at the point now where, again, you look at this, the depth chart's not helping them. They have no guys in their depth chart. It's not helping them at all, because they can't have anything going for them at this moment. They haven't had any, you can say luck, you can say poor roster construction. I think it's more so poor roster construction than anything. I mean, you have, coming into the season, you were hoping that Gary Trent Jr. was going to be a very prominent piece. He hasn't been so far. You were thinking that, hey, Taurean Prince can be a guy. He's a solid defensive player, yes, but he hasn't been able to bring any spark offensively, which has ultimately led to him bringing a negative impact most of the time. And again, it's not that Taurean Prince is playing bad, but in 38 minutes a night, he's averaging about 35 minutes a night. He hasn't been able to give exactly what we're looking for. But some positives here surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks are the fact that Doc Rivers is really starting to get the young guys some playing time. We saw Ryan Rollins. You see this here. Following last night's game, Bucks head coach Doc Rivers confirmed that Ryan Rollins is going to be in the rotation ahead of DeLon Wright moving forward, saying he likes Rollins' athleticism. The youth movement is finally coming to life in Milwaukee. So now we're seeing, last game, you got 12 minutes, and then going forward, they now have AJ Green, who can spark threes off the bench. You have Andre Jackson Jr., who can provide you with some slashing and some athleticism. You have Ryan Rollins, who's now going to be your full backup point guard going forward for this group. And the reason that that's so important is because, again, coming into the season, they signed Gary Trent Jr., DeLon Wright, of course, all these different guys, Taurean Prince, some veteran guys, hopefully hoping that they can propel this team, guys who've been in the league for a while, when all along the team is clearly playing better with the young guys. AJ Green, who's 25, has been playing really well. And again, it's not that Gary Trent Jr. is a veteran and that he's old. He's still in his mid-20s, but he's been around for a while, and we kind of know what you're getting. You know what you're getting out of Gary Trent Jr., but giving Ryan Rollins a chance, especially compared to DeLon Wright, who's been in the league forever, and he's not really been playing well whatsoever. His role has been limited. It's been significantly, as Ryan Rollins and the young guys have started to play a little bit more, DeLon Wright's been playing a little bit less. And now that Doc Rivers has confirmed this big change, I'm really excited because, again, if you're not winning games, at least try to get the young guys involved. And we're getting the young guys involved in Damian Lillard. You're getting the young guys involved in not Damian Lillard, sorry. Getting the young guys involved alongside Damian Lillard. Getting the young guys involved like AJ Green, Ryan Rollins. And as they continue to shop the trade market, whether that's for a guy like Bobby Portis shipping out or Brook Lopez, whoever it is, start to transition into a more youth movement. Because with these younger players, you're at least having the chance to have some of the upside. Like, you know what you're getting with DeLon Wright. He hasn't been performing well anyway. So if you give Ryan Rollins a chance, maybe he'll be a spark that this team needs. Some athleticism off the bench. Someone who can play alongside Dame better than DeLon Wright has been able to. And that's all you can ask for at this point is that. And speaking of some of the young guys, again, AJ Green, the lone bright spot of this season is AJ Green is leading the league in three-point percentage at 60.5 and is making almost 3 threes a game with a 91.3 true shooting percentage. He is a pure three-point shooter. And again, he hasn't attempted a single two-pointer, so he has a 91.3 true shooting percentage as a result. But every single game he goes out there, again, he had 4 threes. Yeah, the other night he went 4 for 7, I believe, or 4 for 6 against the Celtics. And it's just at the point now where it's like, if you're going to continue to play these guys. Like AJ Green has shown an ability to play well off of the bench. He's shown an ability, and he might even factor into the starting lineup going forward. I think there's a real world where AJ Green is the starter for the Milwaukee Bucks next game tomorrow against the Toronto Raptors. And if not, maybe they give Andre Jackson Jr. another chance. But Ajax hasn't really given enough offensively so far. And at a point now where this Milwaukee Bucks team desperately needs some offense, it's getting more and more intriguing to see what moves Doc Rivers makes. But if you're, an AJ Green guy, he's been a phenomenon this season for the team, just being able to, again, be that three-point shooter. He's finally getting the minutes and opportunity he deserves, and it's very exciting to at least see some youth movement come to fruition. But touching on this briefly here before we wrap up, is Celtics Jaylen Brown calls Giannis Antetokounmpo a child after Bucks star elbows him, fakes handshake. And again, it's interesting because, again, Celtics Jaylen Brown, he calls Giannis Antetokounmpo a child. We remember at the Celtics game, he obviously went for the handshake and then he faked the handshake basically. And again, this was Jaylen Brown's first game back after a while. And Brown was defending Antetokounmpo in the post with the Greek Freak spun and connected with an inadvertent elbow. We know about all that. And you can see the comment at the bottom. Giannis is a child. I'm just focused to help my team get a win, and that's what we did tonight. So a very interesting comment. He's calling Giannis a child, and I just want to bring this up. Again, it's not a huge deal either way, but it's not a great look for the Bucks to lose the game anyway, and Giannis to do that and obviously ultimately lose the game is a bit unfortunate and disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's a competitive aspect of the game, and seeing things like that is only, I'm sure, going to fuel Giannis Antetokounmpo to be better next time because he hates losing just as much as the next person. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. A ton of different changes. We have trades on the horizon as well for this team. This is the place to be for the Daily Bucks news, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date, and we will see you guys in the next video.